Hello and a warm welcome to Agric today on ARCN Television, Mabushi, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin Amin. This week we shall take a look at the efforts of the federal government to expedite development in the agriculture sector by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security in collaboration with the National Bureau of Statistics, World Bank and other relevant stakeholders. It has launched the 2022 National Agricultural Sample Census Reports to provide robust data information on agricultural activities, enhance food and nutrition security, as well as economic growth. Speaking during the event, which took place at the Continental Hotel in Abuja recently, the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, said that data gathered from the census would provide evidence-based policy and decision-making in all sectors of the economy, particularly in line with the renewed hope agenda in the agriculture sector. Senator Abdullahi stated that the NASC would assist the ministry with statistics to monitor agricultural food supply and identify opportunities for development in the sector. Let's listen to him.
Because at 7 and what you have here, we're talking about almost 280 million, for example. So definitely those who say Nigeria's population is growing, rising towards 300, I think they're right. What does this mean to all of us? It means that we are able to measure. And I remember vividly, whatever you are able to measure, you will be able to manage. That, to me, this is the most important point that we have now come to. On a lighter note, this is to say that all along we've just been grappling, trying to find a way to handle our sector. But with this information today, I think the management of our sector will become much more robust, which is exactly what we are out to do under the Renewed Hope agenda. And as you can see, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very clear. Food security is the top priority. Economic growth with job creation and poverty reduction. And you also have inclusivity. Now, if you look at all of this, there is no one sector that is able to combine the delivery of all of this as the agricultural sector. And I think that shows the significance of what we are doing today. Coming at the beginning of the first year of the Renewed Hope agenda, definitely this is good omen and this is good projection. So I want to assure Nigerians that going forward, we now know we have at least 40.2 million households. And we cannot but wait for that sample survey that will show us exactly what is where. But even before then, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is currently operating with this year's budget. We have already anticipated all of these issues. Some of the things we are getting from you is now a validation of our thought process and a few, data that we'll be able to use to plan our 2024 annual appropriation, for example. And earlier, I think my honorable brother said, when you look at the policy direction with respect to youth, that maybe he thinks agriculture is not in the direction of the youth. I think I beg to disagree, my brother. What we have seen, in fact, that has been the situation before. When youth will say, I am not ready to go into agriculture with hoe and cutlass. That's some years back. But as it is today, I want to assure you and to inform you that the youth are the ones now leading and driving the next wave of agricultural revolution we're going to see. And I will give you two examples. The youth have a body they call Youth for Agriculture. Youth for Agriculture is a group of young Nigerians. They realize that agriculture is a multi-billion-dollar economy. Nigeria has a very high advantage. I remember somebody making advantage of Nigeria being green. Being green means you are able to have pollinators all over the place. Pollinators are good for agriculture. And the youth have said, over the next 10 years, with the support of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, they want to be able to meet the demand of honey and other products that comes from bees in this country and even begin to export. This they did when they celebrated the World Bee Day. Now, this may not be well, reported, because sometimes when positive things come also, they tend to get down. The water is not always comfortable for good things. Now, the other aspect I would like to say is we just had the World Dairy Day, World Milk Day, and in that also we saw very young Nigerians who left the oil industry to establish Milky Bar, which is a growing dairy industry, and it is run by a young Nigerian. He left the oil industry and entered into that sector. And there are many more examples. For example, also, just recently, the issue of hydroponic and greenhouse farming. There are a lot of Nigerian youths going all about the place, teaching their fellow youths and doing the same. In fact, when I went home, I was told about youths have organized themselves. They have now 3 cohorts that have gone for that training on hydroponics. So I mentioned the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security will begin to do more robust management and ensure that we work round the clock to reverse the current trend. Because the vision of President Bola Tinubu is for us to transform the Nigerian agricultural system and the food system to be transformed into a more sustainable and secure food system for our citizens. In fact, he has said it several times that his vision is to see a Nigeria where no Nigerian goes to bed hungry. Further reveal that 16% of agricultural households are involved in cattle rearing, for example, accounting for a total of 58 million cattle. Goats are also there. 41.2% of households raising approximately 124 million goats. Now, why I decided to point this out is to say that what we are looking at is to develop an industry around all of these resources, which means we should be able to identify people who will provide feed and fodder. So these are all opportunities, and we have seen that, like you said, coming back again, these are the things that the youths are doing. If you are a keen observer of our logistics system, anytime you see livestock movement, either goods or whatever, we just finished the Salah celebration now. You see it is youths who are mainly involved in the trading. And so all of these things are pointers to what this survey has been able to show us. And we want to use this opportunity to thank the World Bank, to thank the Food and Agricultural Organization, our electoral partners, and indeed the anchor, the National Bureau of Statistics, for making Nigerians to know that we are a blessed country. We are indeed very blessed because, like you have shown us, you went to Abadan. Abadan is in the northeast, Borno State. Incidentally, Muba local government. That is the local government of the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari. And I recall when you did the preliminary presentation, he was telling you from the picture, this is this house, this is this place, that is that place. So I think that shows the genuineness and the integrity of the data that was presented to us. So at this point, let me say that we have a lot of work to do. The data that is out here is telling us how we are going to manage the agricultural sector. We have been worried, rightly so, about fake farmers, ghost farmers. Now we know where the farmers are. And I think with this data, we are going to put in the necessary structure. The permanent secretary is here, the directors are here, to eliminate, not by substitution, by real elimination, all those who are ghost workers, ghost farmers, and every other portfolio farmers. So don't come to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture with your big, glossy submission thinking we're going to listen to you. We'll be linking you back to the remuneration area. Thank God we now have the data to justify what you are saying. If you come from a place where we know it is what they are doing, and you tell us that you are having 2,000 hectares for cassava, are we going to listen to you? So please, Renew Hope is here. And definitely, we are going to make sure that our agricultural sector serves the purpose of our citizens.
In his remarks, the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, lauded the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and other development partners for supporting the report. He added that the outcome of the census was a shining example of what can be achieved with robust collaboration between stakeholders. Let's take a listen.
Population Commission in terms of geospatial data. And so we congratulate all, and indeed we congratulate our development partners for supporting this report. The report came after a very long time, and statistics is important. And I'm glad that both the chairman of the Senate Committee on National Planning and Economic Development is here, and as well as the deputy chairman of the House, because this planning tool, particularly in a federation, determines a lot of progress we can make, especially when, as part of our 8 priority areas, part of the 8 priorities of the Renewed Hope agenda is both macroeconomic reforms and agriculture and food security. And where, given that we're a federation, where power is split between the federal, states, and local governments, and the Constitution, in particular Section 16A of the 5th alteration of the Constitution, made food security a key element of state policy, meaning we have to design, we have to come up with how our agricultural system will work, even in spite of the separation of powers between the 3 different levels of federal and subnationals. Of course, we are not alone. We are lucky that we share the federation arrangement with other counties. And in our history, we have done well, and we have the ability to learn from the experience of others. Just as I was sitting next to the representative of the county director, of the World Bank, was sharing with me what they did in India to create a delivery platform at as localized level as possible. And luckily in Nigeria, we also have about 8,809 geographical entities which are recognized by our Constitution as one. So we are currently in the process of drawing a governance structure that will ensure that in each ward we know what is happening, we know what programs are there, we know, and this data can only help us make tests quickly. 2 key things I saw in the summary was that we have about 40.2 million agricultural households. And I did again ask the statistician general. So this is out of households in Nigeria of about 43 million people. So if anybody is in doubt, about the position of agriculture. That is clearly established. And even among other countries, this is important. We are one of the countries that are blessed with an agricultural populace that sociologically or anthropologists among people, not only are we lucky to have this large population in agriculture, but they are proud to identify themselves as such. They are very, very proud to be farmers. They are very, very proud to be fishing communities. They are very, very proud to be animal. That has a very significant effect on absorptive capacity, because that means we have people who are happy to help, to engage, to support production in that area of our national life. They are not aiming to migrate to cities and live. They are very proud. So that means we need to continuously calibrate our deliverance structure so that we support them to generate more return for what they are proud to do. But by so doing, contributing to our national productivity, national output, national income. In fact, the biggest key to sustain economic growth is to ensure that those 40.2 million households are continuously supported so that year after year they can do better.
Also in these remarks, the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, representatives in Nigeria and ECOWAS, Dominic Kofi, stated that the report would provide critical data for policymakers to make important decisions in planning, monitoring, and evaluation of programs as well as projects.
FAO is happy to be part of this drive to place Nigeria on the right trajectory of agricultural development. As we are all aware, credible data provide information on critical variable required to inform policymakers to make informed decision on development objective. For agriculture particularly, it's helped to offer insight on the number of farmers, the scale of operation, and existing agricultural enterprise. This information help to identify opportunity for growth and constraint needs to overcome so as to increase productivity, income, and improve food security. Agriculture is a fundamental activity with significant economic and social benefits to the nation in terms of employment and income generation. It is thus pertinent that accurate, adequate, timely, and reliable statistics are readily available to inform policy formulation, planning, monitoring, and evaluation of programs and projects. It is therefore commendable that such critical data made available through the National Agricultural Sample Census, the report which we are witnesses its release today are yielding the desired result. This indeed is a giant stride towards the transformation and development of the agri-food system in Nigeria. Considering the importance of credible data to the agriculture sectors, FAO recommended that collecting, processing, and sharing data on the structure of agriculture should be conducted at least once in every 10 years. This will enable us better understanding agriculture production in the country, promote data-driven decision-making, identify vulnerable population that need urgent assistance, access land use and land ownership, and facilitate collaboration and build partnership among diverse actors in the sector for better production, better nutrition, better environment, and better life. Leave no one behind.
In his welcome address, the Statistician General of the Federation and the Chief Executive Officer of the NBS, Prince Adeyemi, said that with over 65% of the population directly or indirectly dependent on the agricultural sector for their daily sustenance, the data results offer invaluable insight into very foundation of the agricultural sector. He added that the report provided a detailed picture of the size and structure of farm holdings, land use pattern and crop production practices, livestock, fisheries activities, and the use of agricultural inputs, among others. He further stated that the census revealed that there were about 40.2 million agricultural households in Nigeria. 91% cultivated crops, 35% practiced only crops cultivation, while 48% reported raising different types of livestock. Furthermore, 16% of the household raised 58.58 million cattle, 41.2% about 124 million goats, 42.5% poultry, mostly common chickens, while only 5% practice fisheries. Let's take a listen.
Data is king. The moment I resumed on my duties as special advisor, I got very, very familiar with the NBS because I know that no matter what we do, if the numbers aren't well captured and if the numbers are saying, whatever the numbers are saying is the reality. Okay, so therefore data is key. And I think we're getting to know this more and more. It is said that data is the new oil, the new gold, the new everything. And therefore we need to own our data. In order to own that data, the first thing you do before it becomes data is not just numbers. It's anything you can capture. First of all, is to capture data. When you capture data, you store data. And then you process data, and then you can get on to data mining and all of that. We live in the age of big data now. I've seen many instances where in Nigeria, private sector, public sector, I've seen data being wasted, sometimes thrown away, sometimes not regarded. But whoever can lay their hands on those data know that that's money that you're working with. This report also captures the importance of land and agriculture. Of course, food security is the first level of security before you start talking of other kind of physical security. When the people are hungry, then the people are angry, and you have tinder box on your hand. And therefore, of course, we know what's going on now. Food security at 40.66%. Food inflation at 40.66%. It's a little bit heavy for our people to bear. We're hoping that those numbers begin to come down very soon. But we all are responsible. Nigeria is blessed. Everybody knows Nigeria is blessed. You need to just go out there and look at the lushness of our environment, even in dry season. I once picked up an American lady from the airport, first time in Nigeria, about 10, 15 years ago, and she was shocked because what she had always heard, she never knew that Nigeria was like this, was like, it's so green. I said, well, it's not scorched earth here entirely, but we're lucky as well. And so, this is very important. Quickly, I just want to say that there's one initiative I'm also pushing, and that's urban agriculture. Beyond what Honorable Clement also suggested, which is can we recalibrate NYSC more into that area? It used to be, NYSC used to be 70-80% about agriculture. But now, everybody wants to serve in Abuja, maybe for obvious reasons and so on. But what about urban agriculture? With a basket of tomatoes selling at 150,000 naira, we've got a problem. so, but urban agriculture can help. And that's also going to help us to begin to limit the kind of inflation that we're seeing. I'm working on initiatives that will not only solve the inflation we have immediately, but also begin to help us into the future with managing inflation. Urban agriculture, almost all of us here grew up having some sort of farms our parents had. But now, as much as we are now rice consumers and pizza consumers, our tastes haven't changed so drastically that we don't know whether we're Americans or we're Asians or whatever anymore. But that means that we also need to tell ourselves to go back to the fundamentals.
Also in attendance were the representatives of the Country Director, World Bank, the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on National Planning and Economic Development, stakeholders, among others. The highlight of the event was the unveiling of the National Agricultural Sample Census reports.
The Almighty and the Mother, it is our honor and privilege to launch this publication.
On the note, to wrap it up on this week on Agric Today. Join us again, same time, same station next week. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. I'm saying bye for now.